We are joining the last 30 seconds of video 1, part 2, with this particular video. So if there's some parts of it that sound familiar, we're going to pick up about the last 30 seconds or so and then continue on with the rest of the program. But the cause of the sicknesses and the disease is as we're talking in the mind. So the surgeon, they just cut into the body. And maybe they do get you some temporary results. And maybe those temporary results could trigger you into long-term results. But it would be like putting a new door on a car and expecting the engine to perform better. You wouldn't do that. You wouldn't go buy a Lamborghini or the car of your dreams and just say, I love the car. I'd like the outside, just the outside only. And, I've got a really good engine on my 2010 Nissan Versa back at home. I'll just put that outside on the inside that I already have. No, of course you wouldn't do that. When you buy a car, you want the whole new car, inside and out. Yet, we've been lied to and been given false programming all our lives. Everything is about the outside, 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 outside. So now literally, one may be a computer software engineer, or be like half the kids, the teenage kids on my block who understand a lot about the details into computer programming. And while I may not be a computer software programming expert, what I am is a human software computer expert. I understand programming and coding to the human computer hardware system known as the physical body. And you know what? You're an expert too. You're an expert in human software programming, and you are an expert in human hardware programming business. It's just that we think that we don't know. We think that we're not smart. In fact, you're just as smart as anybody else, if not smarter. Certainly smarter than I am. The problem is, we're just not aware that we are the programmer and the computer software manager. We are the chief installer. And we are the gatekeeper, and we're the maintenance person. We run the whole show. That's part of why we're so incredible. But since we are masters of programming, in fact, we are incredible computers ourselves. We are the sum of our programs and our codes that we have allowed in. But since we like to talk, since we like to grow, and we sometimes like challenges, maybe, just maybe, use the power of your imagination on this. Maybe when we were given our hardware, maybe we had a program installed, part of the operating system came with the hardware, which caused us to forget how incredible we really are. We may have done this as a challenge or a game or a lesson or maybe just the experience. Whatever you want to say. But just use the power of your imagination and realize that we have the ability to reprogram and change our operating system. Now, in a computer operating system, this is the software installed and operating on whatever hardware you call a laptop or a computer. It runs the basic elements of the computer. The operating system is what interfaces with the new programs once they're accepted into the subconscious mind, and it helps with the installation and the continued running or operation of those programs, whatever programs you have chosen or allowed into your subconscious mind. In the human operating system, we have major software programs installed called our belief systems, our knowledge, our values. All lie in the subconscious mind. Remember, the subconscious mind is very orderly, like a well-functioning operating system that turns on every free program and runs it to extreme efficiency, whatever you choose. Now that's you. That is how powerful you are. You are a well-functioning operating system. And we're going to find out how incredible we are. The problem is we don't know how easy our solutions are or how to change the programming or coding to achieve our ideal body image, because we have programming installed in our human system that we call us, that prevents us from knowing the truth about eating, drinking, and breathing. You know, when I lost all my weight, even one of the things that I realized is my skin, oh my gosh, I was almost wishing at times that I didn't lose the weight because I had so much extra skin. I went to a doctor and we started to work with, collagen and how to retighten it. Didn't work. And then I started something different, and I'm going to teach that different. And my stomach, you would not believe how much elasticity I have been able to regain basically from these techniques and understanding this knowledge at the age of 50. 49, 50 is when I was doing it. And you know, those three very basic things like eating and drinking and breathing, well, those things are the very basic things that we can't go out with for very long. So those three things, for example, come in our operating system. One of those programs that we've already had installed. It's a program which keeps all the other possible good programs to come into our lives hidden or veiled, especially as we start to take control of these bodies. So this program of unknowing or not knowing what we don't know has already been there. It's already installed. And we really don't know what we don't know, right? So we live quiet lives of desperation with intermittent bouts of fun and excitement, while the entire time we were wishing we were living exciting, fun lives of fun and excitement with very little and intermittent bouts of depression. So we just don't know how to turn on the knobs and the buttons, basically, in our body or our mind. And now there's a reason for that. And we're going to get right into it. But right now, in this session, I want you to apply the terminology of hardware to your body. You are the hardware. Your body is the hardware. Now, as we think about this, its shape and its size, we know that we, our physical bodies, like to do things like eat. But the act of eating is not exactly the program that you were born with. You know that you need to eat, but how you eat, what you eat, and the manner in which you eat it, that's up to you to figure out. You have had coding or programs poured into you or installed into you even while you were in the womb. Yeah, and I'll be able to show this scientifically later on. As you're entering this physical world like a warrior with a perfect body, you immediately started to receive coding. You were born with an innate ability to breathe, and when you eat, you have a program that is part of your operating system that digests your foods without you thinking about it consciously. Imagine if you had to do all the thinking and the controlling of every little activity, the program called metabolism and absorption and all the things that just happen to your body without your direct control. Whew! I mean, the thought of that is just overwhelming. So let me give a quick daily example that we all go through. Let's say that your body needs water. So your hardware has a need, and it sends a message to the brain, which is the electronic relay station. The body is just saying, hey, we need some water to run more efficiently, but the operating system, which is part of your programming on your hardware or your body, automatically sends the signal to your brain when the water level is too low. An organ in the human computer, the brain, grabs all this information, tells different things what to do, and it says, hey, we need some water. We need something to drink. Please send it right away. So sometimes a thought comes in to your mind and it's like, I'm thirsty. So you go take care of that need. Now this kind of happens all the time. You don't have to install the program. You're not going to forget that you're hungry or thirsty, and you're not going to forget to drink for days or weeks at a time. This is one of those features in the operating system that you were born with. This is one of those programs which came to you when you picked up your hardware or your body at delivery. Literally the delivery at your birth. Now, since feeling thirsty and feeding is part of your daily habits, when you do feel that, for example, feeling thirsty, you drink something. It's an automatic response. In fact, you could be having a conversation with somebody and all of a sudden come in and just go get a drink of water. So you don't have to think about this one task. It just happens automatically. So let me give you 2 more examples. First, a perceived negative example. When I was about 6 years old, my best friend at the time was a guy named, let's say, John. John came over to my house one day and he was wearing a hat. Now, this was early in the 1970s when the phrase, keep on trucking or got your ears on, were references to truck drivers. It was kind of popular, and there was a lot of stickers and stuff, and John had a hat. He had a new hat, and on the hat it said, do you have your ears on? And it was a caricature of a trucker with a great big gigantic ear, and he was holding a CB in his hand, and he was holding it up to the ear as if he's waiting for one of his friends to get on and talk to him. Hence the term, got your ears on. Now John started to laugh at me and he said, this is you, Jamey. You got big ears like this guy. Now, this immediately hurt my feelings. How was I supposed to respond to that? Little kid, I just got my feelings hurt. So when I got home, I started to look in the mirror, and throughout my entire life, I noticed that other people sometimes made comments about my ears. But this was a time where I really paid attention. I had been affected by those words from my friends, so I believed that I had big ears, and obviously there were times where I felt sad and ashamed, or sad and depressed. Do you think that feelings of being sad or depressed has any effect on my body? Does it have any effect on the food choices or the manner in which I eat? Is there a link between sadness and the state of the health of the body? What if I was really sad for a really long time about this? Would it affect how I look, the weight that I gained, or the disease that creeps into my system, my hardware? And I let an outside programmer, my friend John, install a program in me, because I allowed that into my conscious mind, that caused me to have conflicts between what I wanted to look like later on in life or at that moment and what I thought I needed to look like according to his program. And he installed a program on my computer, and I let him do it. Now I feel bad about that. Now, John doesn't live in my body. I do. Nobody lives in your body. You do. So why would I allow another program to install their program on me? Okay, so this becomes part of our belief system, or it becomes part of our operating system. And when our conscious mind accepts an idea, and that idea goes into the subconscious mind, remember that the subconscious mind accepts it as law and does everything in its possibility with great efficiency to make sure that they know that my ears are too big. Everything's going to remind me that my ears are too big until I change the program. And it's going to happen forever and ever until I change it. Okay, so I can see that everybody's starting to get to the point where they're starting to put some of the pieces together. So now let me give you a positive example. My grandmother lived next door to the home that I grew up in as a child, and I spent a tremendous amount of time with my grandmother, and she would always tell me that I'm chosen, that I'm lucky. Now I believed that as a little kid in my conscious mind, and I accepted this idea. This idea was a programming or a coding. As I grew up, these things that happened to me sometimes were events that were magnificent, and I would always say to myself, Grandma was right, I am the luckiest person I know. I am chosen. And that belief system or that program was reinforced and reinstalled and kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and it served me very well in many, many times. Many cases. Now those are just 2 programs or possible programs. We can install in our hardware system into our body anything that we want. The reality is we have millions of programs installed right now, all of them running with great efficiency. Many of them cause conflict within themselves. They're conflicting programs, and we know this conflict as stress. Oh, we've all felt stress. This is not a vibration that we're looking for. Stress feels, as my best friend Anna says, icky. It certainly is not a vibration that allows us to become thinner and healthier and happier with efficiency. So as we age, these changes which happen to our body only happens based upon the software coding or the belief systems or the programming by the programmers which made the installations. These programs were put into the subconscious mind. They follow the order, the extreme order of the operating system. And now remember that our conscious mind or our thinking mind gathers all kinds of information, and it does that through the 5 physical senses, as well as the possibility we have to tap into the 6 higher senses to accept or to reject any idea or concept. Remember that once the conscious mind accepts or rejects something, it goes into the subconscious mind. It goes into the subconscious mind as a program, where the subconscious mind accepts that information as law, as 100% truth. And within that subconscious mind, the operating system does everything that it can to go out and make sure that the program which was just installed materializes in your computer hardware, which is your body, in your life. It manifests or materializes in or on your body, as well as the environment in which you choose to take the environment. And you have your body with you everywhere you go in your daily conscious life, your work, your home, etc. So let's review. We reviewed the stick man, which is the image of the mind. We also talked about some new terminology. Your body is hardware. Your subconscious mind is the operating system, and your conscious mind, which accepts and rejects the programs, which are the ideas and thoughts, constantly, every day, is always working nonstop. And based on the programs installed or the coding on the program determines what the body or the machine or you look like, and what it feels like, and what actions it takes. So in our next video on the Dragostea Ideal Body Image System, we will discuss how you were programmed as a baby and how that affects your body today, however old you are. So let me know if you have any questions or thoughts or comments. Email me at jamey@dragonflymindset.com or private message me on Facebook, and we will see you on the next video. With love and light, I will talk to you soon. Jamey Dragostea.